Hey Truth Seekers, welcome back. Zach here. This video is called The Impossible Huey P. Newton and Cam Newton Coincidence. Huey P. Newton is who established the Black Panther Party in Oakland, California in October of 1966, months before the first Super Bowl. He would die in 1989, just months after Cam Newton was born, now the quarterback of the Carolina Panthers that have the Black Panther symbolism. Notice, in Gematria, the practice of coding numbers into words, Freemasonry equals 58, Huey P. Newton equals 58, Oakland equals 58, and as it happens, Cam Newton becomes today the 58th quarterback to start in a Super Bowl. The first ever black quarterback to win a Super Bowl was Doug Williams, who defended Cam Newton in the mainstream media this week, based on the headlines he made a little more than a week ago about people saying they fear an African American quarterback. If you're new to my channel, I have been educating about the race war being created in the media, and in November, I said, based on what was being coded, it seemed that a Broncos Super Bowl was for sure, and a likely opponent was the Carolina Panthers for the race war symbolism of white horse versus Black Panther. And ever since that Super Bowl has been named, we've seen headlines of Broncos wearing all white, Panthers wearing all black, Charles Barkley making racial remarks, Cam Newton, Stephen A. Smith, and Skip Bayless, and so many more, just getting all caught up in all this racial stuff, which is exactly what I predicted back in November. And for being so right about my predictions, I'm catching the attention of the mainstream media. Here's an article from The Big Lead, which is by USA Today, mocking me. They're mocking the video I made about the rigging of the Super Bowl, and in that Super Bowl video, I talk specifically about the number 58, Freemasonry, and the race war. The owner of the Carolina Panthers is Jerry Richardson, who was drafted into the NFL in 58, and he is a Freemason. This number is important. That's why it's coded on Oakland, Huey P. Newton, Freemasonry, and more. At the end of this video, we're going to go over the 6 black quarterbacks to start in a Super Bowl. Cam Newton becomes the 6th, and the coding on them, the Masonic coding. But just so you can see this, there's other important details. Huey P. Newton, who established the Black Panther Party, graduated high school in 59. Big year for Black America. Motown came out that year. The reason why is because the record studios, like the sports leagues, like the media, are run by the Masons and the Zionists. Negro equals 59, slave equals 59, blues equals 59, Motown Records equals 59, Miles Davis equals 59. He came out that year. They say the first book he ever read was The Republic, which has Gematria of 119, like All-Seeing Eye, like Star of David. We're going to talk about how these numbers factor into his death, which is connected to the birth of Cam Newton. Also, Huey was born in the year 42. 1942. The numbers stamped on black Americans are 42 and 59. Think about this. Black History Month is February, the only month with 42 Gematria. If I typed out the other 11 months, you would see none of them equal 42. February 28th is the 59th day of the year. Now get this, the number 59 is the other number stamped all over black Americans. And really all of us. Think about how we work the 9 to 5, the reflection of 59. The only 2 numbers that have Gematria of 42 as single digits when written out are 5 and 9. And the most hateful word on black Americans, check this out. You need to see this. The Gematria is 42, but the breakdown is N becomes 5. It's the 14th letter. 1 plus 4 equals 5. I is the 9th letter. G is the 7th. G is the 7th. E is the 5th. R is the 18th. 1 plus 8 becomes 9. It has the 5-9 coding within it twice. The most hateful word on black Americans. A number stamped so much. Right now, the O.J. Simpson trial is even factoring into this. I've done a video on it. Why Cuba Gooding Jr. is playing the part. It all factors in. Anyway, O.J. Simpson was driving the white Bronco in California to start that story, right? The name Simpson in Gematria sums to 42. In that trial, it said that Mark Furman had to take the stand and admit that he had said nigger 42 times in a conversation that was overheard. Who would be counting to 42? I mean, just think about it. These are all subtle psychological jabs, if you will. Our language is truly coded by numbers. It's because our language, our calendar, our nation, it's all a Masonic creation. So with that understanding in mind, just realize I talked about it and all that stuff in these videos. And this guy, he makes this video mocking me because he knows I've hit the truth on the head. I have to be dismissed. And I made a response to this video. Just notice that he closes out with this thing about how I have 90 or 47,000 vile things to say. We're going to talk a lot about 47 with regards to the Super Bowl. The first ever Super Bowl season was in the 47th year of the NFL. The 47th season. Talk more about this number. Huey P. Newton, dead at age 47. So anyhow, Huey P. Newton establishes the Black Panther Party in Oakland. This year the Super Bowl's in California, not far from the Bay Area. Oakland, the small way, also sums to 22. Just interesting to think about football, a game of 11 on 11, 22 men on the field. It's the master builder number. It seems that by decoding this history, you can see the people who have been plotting this have been planning for this day. Huey P. Newton died in the year 89. That's the same year the new Black Panther Party was established. The Black Panther Party existed from 66 to 82. It dissolved in 82, reestablished in 89, the year Huey died, the year Cam Newton was born. New Black Panther Party equals 89. Established in 89. Without the new, Black Panther Party just equals 74, like Masonic. Notice Huey P. Newton, born in 42 in February. His full name, title, in Pythagorean Gematria, Dr. Huey Percy Newton equals 95, the reflection of 59. In simple English Gematria, Huey equals 59, no surprise there. Dr. Huey Percy Newton sums to 239, and this is a very important number to the nation, especially this year. The United States of America is 239 years old. This number is important to the Jewish faith and other spiritual faiths. In the history of the United States, just before World War I, Abdul-Baha came to the United States and spent 239 days here on a spiritual journey, preaching to the people about unity, peace. That was before World War I. Abdul-Baha in Gematria sums to 239. He was here for 239 days. This number also syncs up with Torah, the Jewish holy book, as well as the Gematria of Golden Gate. The Golden Gate is very important in the Jewish faith. That is what the Messiah will arrive through when he comes. Remember, the Jewish people don't believe Jesus, the equivalent, has come. They think Jesus or the Messiah is to return. And in just a moment, I'll educate you on Jesus, Messiah, and more. But anyhow, 239, this number, syncing up with Dr. Huey Percy Newton, and Golden Gate, the bridge not far off from the Super Bowl. It's very interesting, especially it being the 239th year of the nation's existence. The date he died on, a date with 57 numerology. This is interesting because the Black Panther Party was established for black nationalism. Black nationalism has Gematria of 57. With the S exception, black nationalism equals plus 9 more, so it equals 66, like the year the party was established. He also died on a date with a numerology of 39, both Martin Luther King Jr. and Malcolm X, dead at age 39, both men having name gematria of 93, the reflection. I did a video on Martin Luther King Jr. this year, showing how he died after giving a speech on the 93rd day of the year at Mason Temple, which had had an address starting with 930. Their phone number also starting with those numbers. The point is, some of these numbers are incredibly important. They're coded heavily by the Masons and Zionists, and they show up again and again. Huey P. Newton would die at age 47. Star of David, the small way, 47. The big way, 119, syncing up with the numerology of the date he died on. Earlier this year, I showed how CBS had the countdown for 119 days until the Super Bowl. Their symbol is the all-seeing eye. All-seeing eye also equals 119. They didn't do that countdown for any other week this year, just for 119 days. Things I brought up earlier this year for people to keep a mind on. With regards to Huey dying on August 22nd, in most parts of the world, they write the day before the month, so it's 22/8. Martin Luther King Jr. in Gematria sums to 228. So does United States of America. And think about how the date February 28th can be written 2/28. February, Black History Month, February 28th, the 59th day of the year. Number stamped on Black Americans. This country being 239 years old, the flag was also sewn in Philadelphia at 239 Arch Street. Very important number in history. And the fact that it's coded on Huey P. Newton and he aligns with this Super Bowl in San Francisco that's home of the Golden Gate, you got to think about it. If these people truly have scripted our future, as I've been stating for years now, and they're just executing it by a code, you see how it all comes together by being aware of this knowledge of numerology and gematria. You see that the script really is in. So now check this out. Jewish and Messiah, gematria of 74. Jesus equals 74. Cross equals 74. Gospel equals 74. In this nation, out of the 50 states, only one has a gematria of 74. That's Oregon, the 33rd state. Think about Jesus on the cross at 33. This is all part of a Masonic code. These numbers 74 and 33 are often paired together. For example, Denver won Super Bowl 33. Mile High City happens to have gematria of 74. Denver's also home of the very Masonic airport with all the Masonic architecture and a plaque dedicated to the New World Airport Commission. If you haven't seen my video on the TPP signing from just the other day, February 4th, signed on the 174th meridian, you got to check that out. The New World Order, I'm exposing how they operate in all fronts, from sports to politics to news. To appreciate my videos, you have to see all that I am exposing. You know, it's deep. So here's Cam Newton, born in 89, 3 months, 11 days before Huey died. Born on a date with 105 numerology, the numbers of Zionism and Masonry. Again, it's the Masons and Zionists who are responsible for this. His birth name's Cameron Jarrell Newton, having gematria of 96 like Freemason. I've been talking all year about the Chicago theming and this year's Super Bowl because it's the 46th Super Bowl of the modern era. Chicago equals 46 in gematria, and Chicago's the birthplace of the NFL, beginning in 1920, meaning it even turns 96 years old this year, the NFL. Next year will be the 96th season. So anyhow, with regards to all this race war, back in November, again, I was making videos about how this whole season is scripted for the Broncos. It'll likely be the Black Panthers because of the race war symbolism they want. And this USA Today article mocks me for that. Since then, we've gotten, again, the headlines. Stephen A. Smith, Barkley, Cam Newton himself, and more. All sorts of people weighing in. Fox News hosts. Everybody making comments about race, football, and more. Well, in light of this, the first black quarterback to win a Super Bowl, Doug Williams, who defeated the Denver Broncos in 1988, he even weighed in on the headlines this week, sticking up for Cam Newton. And I want to show you the connection between Cam Newton and Doug Williams, the first black QB to win a Super Bowl. First, notice this article came out on February 1st, 2016, a date with 39 numerology. 39 is a big number on this Super Bowl. We talked about how it connected to the death of Huey P. Newton. The death of Malcolm X, Martin Luther King Jr. This year, Charlotte, who represents the Carolina Panthers, has a connection to 39 as well.